Thanks to the support as a channel member, Kieran Hodgkinson. I know, it's so exciting that we're on TV. Finally, we've got a chance to prove ourselves, show off to the world just how good we are. Yeah, I imagine we're getting paid for it, but I mean, is that all it ever comes down to for you? Hello and welcome to part 32 of Holiday Home. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we're only on the telly. Imagine it. We play Athletic Bilbao's B team, hopefully the return of the B Bashers, and then we have our first proper televised match. Certainly at this, I think there was one we played last year against somebody's B team, but this is two A teams battling it out on television when we face old rivals Alicante, and I am very excited, and they're actually having a very good season as well. Since you were last with me, we've been very, very mid-table. We've only actually won one of our last 5 games, which is a little alarming, but the whole league is kind of set up where everybody is capable of beating everybody else. So despite the fact we've only won 1 in 5, we're only 4 points outside of the playoffs with a game in hand. So we're the last team to play on this match day. If we win this one, we are only 1 point outside of the playoffs. We move all the way up to 6th place because everyone's just beating everybody else. There's no standout teams in this league. So if we can find a way to string together 3 or 4 wins in a row, we're going to be top of the league. So there's still plenty to play for, even though the league table of 11th place, as we're about a third of the way through the season, is a little disappointing. And what's also a little disappointing is how Kevin Carlos has taken to this league, i.e. not very well. If we look at his recent form, we've had to take him off because he's been playing poorly. Did a 6.0 in that game, a 6.3 in that game. They're the only 2 games in the last 5 he's started. He looked bright coming off the bench in that one, but really, it's been a while. That run of us not winning matches coincides with the run of Kevin Carlos not scoring goals anymore. The last time he scored were the last couple of games we won. And even the one that we won in the 5 was the one where he played well coming off the bench. Ivan Luis isn't doing much better. You would argue he's probably not doing as well. His average rating is lower. His goals per game is lower. He's in slightly better form at the moment, which is why he gets the nod today. But we've enjoyed a period of several seasons since Little Kev signed of having a prolific goal a game striker, and not having one does sting a little bit after having one for so long. But fingers crossed. Athletic Bilbao B are struggling a little bit. They're down in 15th place. We are the B Bashers. This is our opportunity. We've got Romero in goal, a back four of Zafra, Joffrey, Evans and Carrington, Donut at the base of the midfield with Boxall and Rabiot ahead of him, Martinez Perez on the left, Ivan on the right and Luis up front. We have no settled 11 at the moment, which I think is part of our problem. Usually by this stage of the season, I could tell you what our best 11 is. I really don't know. I don't know who our best striker is. I don't know who our best right winger is. I'm pretty sure Boxall, Rabiot, Martinez, Perez, I think that's the best we can do in that position. I think Joffrey's probably our best defender, and Zafra and Carrington are our best fullbacks. Romero, best goalkeeper. But right wing, striker, defensive midfield, the other centre-back, they're rotating a lot as we're trying to work out who to use in which roles. And I think there's going to come a time sooner rather than later where we have to just commit to an 11 and play it for 3 or 4 games in a row and give players the chance to play themselves into form. Maybe Ivan Luis is starting to play himself into some form now. 2 goals in his last 3 games. He just hit the crossbar there. If he can keep hold of this centre forward spot for another couple of matches and start scoring a few more goals, that kind of solves that problem that we've had at centre forward. And little Kev is just going to have to get used to the fact that he's a very expensive backup player for us now. But really, whichever one of the strikers is not playing is a very expensive backup. And I know what some of you are going to say. Why, Kev? Why don't you play both of them together? And my response to that is, who do we not play? If we go to a diamond, we're sacrificing Martinez Perez, who's one of our best players, Fakal, who's one of our best players, although not always starting anymore. Or do we sacrifice the defensive midfielder, in which case we're going to concede a lot more goals? We still don't have a settled back four. I don't think we can venture too far from this system. This is a system that's got us where we are, and I think that's a red card there. Alex Boxall intercepts in midfield, and then someone just goes through him and tries to take his foot off. And Athletic Bilbao are down to 10 men with 2/3 of the game still to go. This has got to be an opportunity for us to return to winning ways. Martinez Perez gives it to Zafra. Zafra definitely been one of the highlights of this season. He has just settled into this team beautifully, and I'm very much enjoying his work from left back. If we could have 2 or 3 youngsters of his standard come into the first team every season, we're never going to need to worry about doing transfers again. It's just going to become a homegrown save because Zafra has been excellent. Right, Romero playing it forward. This is a weirdly long highlight. Rabiot flicks onto Luis, who's through on goal, and he's just not clinical enough. Kevin Carlos is in poor form, so he would have missed it anyway, but Kevin Carlos in good form scores there. I don't think any version of Ivan Luis ever scores that goal. And that's a problem. He's very much, he's effectively a second striker, a deep lying forward that we're trying to play as centre forward. Maybe if we're going to have him as our lone striker, we need to play him almost like a false 9 and go to that plan that we've been concocting for the last 2 years of putting Martinez Perez on the right and Ivan on the left and having them both cutting in with Rabiot bursting out of midfield and just have Luis there linking everything together. Forget everything. He's a poacher. 1-0 to home. Everyone's happy. We don't need to change anything. Kev is a genius. I thank you. Big thumbs all round. Look, Zafra involved again. Love this, man. And Martinez Perez. This is why we can't get rid of the wingers, because they just, all of our goals come from wide areas. Now, I know we are still playing a variation of a wing play tactic, so there is the emphasis to get the ball out wide. That's the other reason why we can't really shift to something narrow, because it would involve completely changing everything about the way we play. And I don't know that that's a change we should be making midway through a season, especially a season which we've got to keep reminding ourselves, it's a season that's going really well. We're newly promoted to this league. We've only turned professional this summer. We weren't able to sign any players on permanent deals in the summer transfer window. Get your words out, man. So considering this is effectively last season's team at a higher division, costing more money, and we're in a promotion race, we don't need to be changing anything. We just need to settle for the fact that we're probably not going to have a 30-goal striker this season, although Ivan Luis, as I'm talking about it, picks up his 2nd goal of the season. And maybe he's the one. Maybe he's our guy. Which makes me feel very sad for little Kev, but he's just not been the same since twanging his hamstring at the end of last season. He's missed the end of both seasons he's been at the club with hamstring injuries, and maybe he's just broken now. We're going to bring him on with 20 minutes to go because Luis is tiring. We're also going to bring on Ibanez for Alex Boxall, and we're going to take off Donut and bring on Moreno. I mean, Moreno, Ibanez, what's the other one? Nicolau. These are all very much interchangeable. They're all faceless men, and I don't really have a preference between any of them. I think that's the problem with a lot of these loans we brought in the summer. They're all very much just warm bodies to slot in when the real players are tired, and it's clear that's what they are when we have to use them. But we do have, I was going to say we have Ivan Fackel to bring on. We don't, apparently. Rob Harley's going to come on, which allows Martinez Perez to move over onto the right-hand side. I mean, Rob Harley has been getting some game time. So maybe there's a version where it's not Ivan on the left wing, it's Rob Harley on the left with Martinez Perez on the right and still having Rabiot bursting out of midfield. And Rob Harley, remember, still only 17 years old, is looking like he's really quite good. There is Rabiot, plays it to Moreno, and now Ibanez, 2 of the faceless men combining. But, I mean, we've won a fairly easy, comfortable thing against 10 men for most of the match. I don't think we've learned a huge amount about our team in this match, but the league position is looking very tasty. And now we go into this first televised match away at Alicante with us both in promotion pushes. Are we both in a position to go top of the league if other results go our way? Because wouldn't that be a thing for on the telly? I can't imagine what TV station 3rd tier Spanish football is on, but they've found a channel somewhere. And that's surely going to be the final whistle now. No, apparently we're going to have to take this throw in. Ezra Carrington really taking his time and just throwing it high up in the air. And even then, Kevin Carlos cannot control it. That boy is troubling me because I know he's better than he seems to be at the moment. But it's just not coming off for him at the moment. Wow, okay, other results didn't go our way there. We didn't move up to 6th. We've actually only moved up to 9th. But we're still only 2 points behind 5th place. We're only 3 points behind Alicante, and they're in 3rd. So if we go to Alicante and win, we leapfrog them. We don't necessarily move all the way up to 3rd because we need everyone between us to lose as well. But this is what I'm saying about how tight it is at the top. We're 4 points off the top of the table, and we're down in 9th place. This is a weird, weird league. You don't know what you've got till it's gone. Oh. We're paying that man 60 grand a year. Problematic. Probably isn't going to score for a little while now, is he? I take back everything I said. I love you, really. He's not having any of it, is he? Well, off the back of the Kevin Carlos injury, we have recalled Fred Stiebling from his loan. He was down in the 5th tier. He's actually done quite well. 7 goal contributions from 12 matches. Been playing regular football for Villa. So he is in the first team squad as our backup striker. Obviously, Ivan Luis, after grabbing a couple of goals in that last match, is now going to have to really make the centre-forward spot his own. 6 goals from 9 starts so far this season. He's on a 7.06. We need him to go on and become a superstar. So, obviously, there's no Kevin Carlos in the team for this televised match. Remember, we're on the telly for this one. Rabiot, why? Hold on, why? Right, hold on. I've pressed quick pick and not actually looked at what quick pick has done here because Martinez Perez got 2 assists in the last game. We're not dropping him. Rabiot's best out of central midfield. We'll play him there. Donut can be in behind those two. The defence, I'm happy with everything else, but not playing Martinez Perez would be madness. Right, now we get the team submitted. Remember, a win here against Alicante, as unlikely as it seems, would propel us into an automatic promotion push. And Alicante have been one of our long-term rivals, both with themselves and their B team. When we were down in the 5th tier, we would battle with them every year. I think it's the airport you fly into when you go into Benidorm, isn't it? Thinking back to the one and only time I've been to Benidorm. But they are top of the league as things currently stand. I think we're kicking off earlier than everyone else. So the point they've currently got on the board is enough to put them to the top of the league because that's how close everything is at this level. There is Alex Boxall playing it to Rabiot. This is why we played Rabiot through the middle and Luis has hit the post. It felt like Rabiot was kicked there as part of that. That was unfortunate. Still 0-0 though, but that was a big, big chance. But it's now Alicante on the attack. Got a prison in the corner of their ground, which is interesting. But they're oh my word. Absolute chaos. Fakal's already on a yellow card, and I'm not sure what for. I don't think we saw him get that, but seeing him prattling around on the edge of our penalty area with a yellow card over his name, when he's not known for his defending, please just do attacking, Ivan. Just focus on us winning the match, not trying to stop us losing it. We've got other players who are good at that. We've got a donut stood in front of our back four. We're going to be absolutely fine. But it is Alicante on the attack again. Oh, my word. Oh, my goodness me. Right, here we go. The ball's at the right end of the pitch, although not with the right players attached to it. And I think this is going to be another Alicante attack, unless we've got someone to just nick the ball off. And we are kind of chasing shadows a little bit at the moment. I don't know how Alicante are such a good side, but they do seem to be quite good. And it's quite problematic for us. Well, I remember, only 4 points ahead of us. So they're not like a dominant team. They're just playing very well against us today. And they are just knocking the ball around us as if we're not there. And of course, their right back has just got his first goal of the season for him and then celebrates with a cartwheel. Why wouldn't he? Oh, it's such poppycock. Goodness me. Who's marking him? That needs to be Martinez Perez. Maybe that's why Quick Pick wanted Rabiot out there to track back better. Use his physicality to stop that. Maybe with Rabiot on the left-hand side, that goal doesn't go in. But then Rabiot also had the biggest opportunity we've had to take the lead as well. So it works both ways. Really, we just want a team of Rabiots, as the song goes. And it's apparently cloning, even though we're 5 years in the future, still isn't at a high enough level for it to be useful for our team building purposes. But again, Rabiot getting very involved in the midfield, kicking people, and then we're so inconsistent. We're on the telly. We're supposed to show off on the telly. Oh, look at him. Kick, but doesn't actually come away with it. I don't want to see the replay. Oh, dear me. The world is seeing us for the first time. And they're not impressed at the moment. Zafra playing it forward to Luis, and there's the ball over the top from Boxall to Luis, and that is a lovely finish and a lovely goal. Ivan Luis, we backed him in the summer when we gave him a bigger contract first, before we even gave Carlos a contract. We felt like Ivan Luis was going to surpass him this season and become the main man. Obviously, we're now being forced into it a little bit, but he is starting to step up with some regular goals. I think we might have our new hero. And if we can get him scoring regularly and use that, like I say, to spin that off into 3 or 4 wins in a row, which away from home against the team top of the league, we're not even supposed to win this one. We're a mid-table side. But if we win the next 3 or 4, we're right up in this playoff mix. And I can't emphasize enough that we're not supposed to be up there. We're newly promoted. We're supposed to be mid-table. We're having a good season. I've got to keep telling myself, because I keep getting frustrated. When you go from winning the league to not winning as many matches the next year, you've got to keep reminding yourself you've just been promoted. It's a change in mindset. I hate changing my mindset. I'm an old man. I want one mindset and never, ever vary from it. That's what Twitter's taught me. I'm old. Don't change my opinion. Oh. Right, let's, what do we do here? I'm so tempted to throw Fred Stiebling on, but Ivan Luis has been the second best player on the pitch after Alex Boxall, always after Alex Boxall, of course. Let's change the wingers. So Ivan Mutt is going to come on, Rob Harley's going to come on, and we're also gonna, what are we going to do here? I'm going to bring on Cucurella, and we're going to go to this. And we're going to go attack him. We're going to do that. I think Cucurella makes more sense coming on in this scenario than an untried 16-year-old striker who's never played a game at this level. And here is Rabiot with the free kick. Should have brought Russ Eddy on. He would have scored there. Right, is there any more? What else could we do? The whole midfield and most of the defence are tired. We will get Russ Eddy on now, just in case we get another free kick. And, I mean, I guess at this point we throw Fred Stiebling on. See if he can make himself a hero. Because he can now play as the more advanced forward, which lets Luis drop in behind him like that. 16-year-old Fred Stiebling might be about to be the hero of all heroes. Come on, boys. We need an equaliser on the telly. Everyone's mums are watching. We've got this 5 minutes of time added on, and we've got the football. It's Russ Eddy. Lumps it over the top to Ivan, who's got options if he can find the cross. Plays it. It's a terrible cross. Doesn't even get past the first man. And now it is Alicante coming away with the ball again. They've got a man with a mohawk, which probably made them unbeatable right from the start. You can't. What do you do against a mohawk? We need a mohawk guy of our own. We've got a hairband guy, but we need a mohawk guy. Sometimes having a hairband guy just isn't enough. Well, we threw men forward. We went for it. We were always exposing ourselves to that happening at the back. I mean, it's a good counter argument to people saying go to 2 up top as our default tactic. I mean, the option's not really there without Little Kev anyway, but I think we saw there what happens when we don't have a DM. You got to have a DM, boys and girls. Inconsistency continues. We're still only 2 points outside of the playoffs, but we're just very, very inconsistent. Now, we do have a little bit of a treat coming up for you in tomorrow's episode, because as you can see, the draw for the first round of the Spanish Cup has happened. And once again, we're facing La Liga opposition, Valladolid, the team that we're playing, and they're managed by Andre Villas-Boas. Probably the biggest team he's ever managed, I would suggest. And they are struggling in the La Liga. Do I look Spanish to you? Have we got a chance? Probably not, but we did nearly beat Barcelona last year, so that will be tomorrow. And we'll also slot in our local rivals, Villarreal. We showed you Valencia earlier in the season. Our other big local rivals are Villarreal, so we'll play their B team as well. It means there's only one in-betweeny match, so not much for you on the lollujo 2 tomorrow morning, I'm afraid. You'll just have the 90-minute extended highlights cut of the Toledo game, but we'll be back for not FA Cup, Copa del Rey action tomorrow. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.